first graders, math books, pencil, definitely have an eraser today. We're going to be drawing some lines, and that way if the lines get a little bit crooked or they don't go quite the way that you want them to, you can easily erase them and redraw them. All right, lesson 12.7, we're so far through. Take apart two-dimensional shapes. Now, we kind of did that yesterday with the foam pattern block, right? Today, you're going to be doing that with more imagining. Color rectangles, orange, color triangles, purple, right? Voila, you can do it. I want to remind you guys, a square is technically a square rectangle. It is a rectangle where all four sides are the same size. Regular rectangles can have two sides opposite be one side and two sides opposite be another size. A square is a rectangle with all four sides the same. All right, now, boys and girls, it does say down here, you know, we ignore this little purple math talk thing. What shapes did Karen make? Go ahead, take a look. What shape is this? You're familiar with that from your pattern blocks. What shape is this one? You're also familiar with that from your pattern blocks. All right, you can draw to show parts of a shape, right? A circle with this line through it shows this half circle and this other half circle. So guys, down here when we're drawing the lines to show the parts, we're going to make dotted lines because we're not actually taking it apart. We're just showing where in the square can you find two rectangles. Well, you know, you could put the dotted lines this way. You could put the dotted lines this way. Get two rectangles, two triangles. Now this one could be a little unusual because it shows this kind. Remember, lateral means the sides. So this is equilateral. All three sides are the same. And triangles can be like that, but you know, they could also be like this, like we had on the other page. You can have really wide, flat triangles, kind of like this. So triangles can be all sorts of shapes. It does not have to be two triangles like this. It can be two other triangles, which we can get, of course, by going diagonally this way or this way. Show two squares. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. You know we're not going to draw a dotted line this way. That's not going to get us squares. You can figure that out now. Show two triangles. I'm going to leave that one for you guys. I want to remind you, it does not have to turn out to be an equilateral triangle. It could be a this looking sort of triangle. It doesn't have to be one like that. All right, next page. Show two triangles. Remember, triangles can be all sorts of different shapes. So what you noticed here with this shape, do you see 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices? We connected two opposite vertices to get triangles. Well, right here again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices. Now, we could draw lines like this, but this question is not very clear, is it? It doesn't say show two triangles and maybe there will be some leftover parts. It doesn't say show two triangles and have the whole shape go into those two triangles. So we don't know for sure which one we're actually required to do. So when we don't know and we can't ask, you know, when you don't know, you really should ask. But when you don't know and you can't ask, then it's a good guess to go for the harder one. So we're going to go for the harder one. We're not just going to draw some lines here and end up with other stuff. We're going to use this whole thing to make two triangles. And so just like on this square, we connected two opposite vertices. Choose two vertices that are opposite, right? We're not going to draw lines from that one to that one, or that to that, or that to that. We need to go with the opposite, right? So there's this one that's opposite that one, and there's this one that's opposite that one. Go ahead and choose two opposite vertices and draw a dotted line. And look, you're going to end up with two triangles. Show two rectangles. Now, guys, on the other page, we divided a rectangle into squares like this, right? And this looks like probably if I divide it in half, I'm still going to get a rectangle there. But imagine if we had the lovely textbook writer in the classroom and we could actually ask them, do you mean for this to look like a rectangle, or is that actually supposed to be? That would be great, right? But they're not there. So we want to try for the thing that's a little trickier, which would be making long skinny rectangles like that. So one rectangle and one square. Well, that's not too hard. We can cut the square off here, and then the rectangle is what we have left over. Now, boys and girls, this one you did yesterday. Turning this thing, you took a trapezoid and a triangle and made this kind of shape. So you guys can figure that one out too. All right, so now we're drawing two lines. So this was probably a good guess up here to go for the harder way. So now we're going to show three triangles down here. You've made this with your pattern blocks, haven't you? If you want to review, go ahead and get your pattern blocks out. Put out a red trapezoid and then get three of those equilateral triangles and put them on top and see how you can arrange it to be three triangles making that trapezoid. Show two triangles and one trapezoid. Any ideas? I'm going to give you a hint. The triangles are not going to look like that. Over here, they did look like that, didn't they? Keep looking, keep thinking. I'm going to draw the triangles for you. One of them is going to look like this. The other one is going to look like this. Did you figure it out? All right. You think you know now if you didn't before? Let's make the other triangle trapezoid. There it is. Last page. How many squares are there? Oh, I strongly suggest getting a crayon. I'm going to get my green marker because I don't use it very much. All right, let's take a look here because this is a hot problem. That means there's an extra little tricky piece. Well, we can see right here's a square, right? There's one square. Here's two squares. Three squares. Four squares. If you have already found the fifth square, go ahead and trace it real quick. And when you turn this into me, you can add in a note that says, I knew it, I found it. If you haven't found it yet, let's take a look. How can we come? If we do this, that's a rectangle, isn't it? That's not a square. How about if we do this? That's a rectangle, not a square. But what if we do this? 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, and they're the same length. We made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. All right, test prep. This is not too tricky. Here's the picture. What are the parts? Did these two things make that? They did not, you know that. Now, you do have both of these. Notice really carefully the question. What are the parts? So they're not asking which shape down here is the same as that. They're saying if you take it apart from that dotted line, what parts do you get? Do you see this S right here? If I'm saying parts, can that be one? Or does it have to be at least two to have parts? If I have cats, can I have one cats? Or do I have to have at least two if I have cats? So that should give you a good clue as to which one you want there. All right, graders, I probably explained that too much. You probably already had it figured out and I was rambling on while you were trying to finish. Very nice work. We are going to be continuing some more of this tomorrow and Thursday, and very soon we're going to be finished with chapter 12, the last chapter in the book. Congratulations.